This is question 48 on chemistry from the 2018 NSAA. It tells you that bromine is a group 17 element and asks which of these statements are correct about bromine. It oxidizes chloride ions in aqueous solution, forming chlorine. It has a lower boiling point than chlorine, and it forms a compound that's 80% bromine by mass on reaction with calcium, which is group 2. And it gives you these relative atomic masses. So let's take a look at the first statement, that bromine will oxidize chloride in solution to form chlorine. Let's have a look at this reaction. So we've got chloride going to chlorine and bromine going to bromide. Does this seem reasonable? Well, which of the two atoms do you think most wants to have a negative charge? And what property does this come down to? It's the electronegativity. Which is more electronegative out of these two? Let's have a look at the series of halogens. We've got fluorine, then chlorine, then bromine, then iodine. And if you can't remember the order, you're actually given the masses of bromine and chlorine, so you can work out which is heavier from this, and therefore lower down in the group. And so we know that electronegativity increases up the group, so we can see that chlorine is the more electronegative of the two. So what does this mean? That chloride is more favourable than bromide is, so the reaction will actually go the other way. So we can say that the statement is wrong. So let's now look at statement 2 that says that bromine has a lower boiling point than chlorine. So what's happening during the boiling process? Well, we have a liquid halogen that's being heated to a certain temperature, the boiling point, to form a gaseous halogen. So what's changing in this process? We can see that the molecules are being forced apart, so this means that the intermolecular forces are being overcome. Now, which forces are these in this case? Well, it's a homonuclear molecule, so there's no permanent dipole, and we know there's no hydrogen bonding, so it must just be van der Waals forces. Now, what do we know about these? Well, remember that the larger molecule has stronger van der Waals forces, and we know that that's bromine because it has the higher mass than chlorine. So this means bromine has the stronger forces and will therefore require more energy to overcome them. And that energy is the form of heat, which comes down to the boiling point. So bromine will actually have the higher boiling point. So we can say that statement 2 is wrong. So finally, let's look at statement 3 that says that bromine forms a compound with calcium that's 80% bromine by mass. So what sort of compound is this going to be? Well, we know that bromine is towards the end and calcium's at the start of the periodic table. And we know that these combinations of elements usually form ionic compounds. So what are the ions going to be? Well, bromine, we're told, is group 17. So to form the full octet, it's going to gain 1 electron to form Br-. And we're told that calcium is group 2. So it'll lose 2 electrons to form calcium 2+. And naturally these form calcium dibromide to form the balanced species. And so how do you work out the percentages by mass? So we start with the bromine bit that we want. That's 2 times 80 because we have 2 bromines. And that's on the top of the equation. On the bottom we have 40 from calcium plus bromine bit. This is the whole molecule on the bottom. And we times it by 100 to make it a percentage, which comes out as 80. So statement 3 is correct. So our final answer is 1 is wrong, 2 is wrong, but 3 is correct, which corresponds to answer D on the question paper.